So I want to have this little quick conversation because I literally, you know what? Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm gonna share this. I'll be right back. Stay right here. All right. All right, guys. I'm back. I had to share that real quick. Sorry about the little delay here. So yesterday, I had the pleasure yesterday in Harlem to go back to somewhere I ain't been around in a minute. And I'm one of them type of guys. See, I was raised by a whole bunch of like old school dudes. Those dudes were significantly old. Tend to be now that I think about it, I'm older now. But much older than me, man, to be honest with you. But the thing is here, I went to go see one of the elder gods yesterday. You know, nations of gods and earth, all that stuff or whatever. If y'all know what I'm talking about, it made me come to the realization of something. And I'm gonna share a video clip that I have that kind of is contention with this, but it started off with a conversation about Lord Jamar and Brand. That's where the conversation started. And so I hadn't realized this gentleman was actually there when they filmed the video for Wake Up Nightmare Wake Up, which was some time ago. I mean, I was a kid when that video came out. So as I'm sitting there and I'm having this conversation with him, and I'm in Allah School of Mecca, which is where Lord Jamal and Brand Nubian, they shot that memorable video. I went there. That's an actual place, you know, spiritual place, in my opinion, you know. And so when I went in there, it was really a transformative moment for me because I was like, you know what? And he senses who I am. He told me, he was like, yo, you know what I mean? So it wasn't even about that. It's more so for me. That gentleman gave me this energy for confirmation about something I was thinking about. And that's what I want to segue into. So I'll be throwing that video up in a few minutes. I've been editing it. And it's why I want to put it together right. Because you know what I mean? He knows where to find me. He knows this channel. So I want him to see that correctly and see himself correctly. And I think I got the tone for it. I got like 3 versions. So we'll see which one I stick with. What it gave me confirmation of was this. There's something going on. And I told you guys this before, and I'll tell you again. And I don't know if it's my like divine duty to tell y'all this, but I hope that you spread this along to your kids if you're Black or Latino. There's something happening in this country, and what they're doing is they are basically having a pit for war for the lowest paying jobs, which lead nowhere. If you have been in this country for a very, very long time, then you know that. I'm talking about multiple generations. You know this for a fact. We've seen people die from it. We've seen people die and not have enough money to bury themselves. We've seen people die from sicknesses that not even a rich man, a moderately economical, financially stable person can usually afford, $200,000. Well, it's much more than that. I think the war for resources is what it'll turn out to be. That's my prediction. It's going to turn out to a war for resources. And what I mean by resources, I mean everything from food to everything else. Because a lot of these, what you guys don't understand is, and I know you don't because you're American, I have the luxury of being both from the Caribbean and American. But what you guys are seeing here, and I don't think you understand what you're seeing here, is you're seeing resources being sucked up financially. And what's that put you in a pickle? Especially when you got millionaires, billionaires. And this, if any stars listening to me, is the exact reason why they're mad at you, because you spent years neglecting these people when you've seen things happening. There should have been way more stars out when COVID-19 was going on and said, hey, let me go to these neighborhoods or whatever. And if you think I'm exaggerating when I say that, the owner of Goya All right, this is an international company. I got Goya products in my house right now. The owner of Goya, he actually pulled up in the Bronx with his trucks. Okay, pulled up in the Bronx with his trucks and was giving out food. I have that on this channel. Go check it out. So this is not nothing made up or anything like that. So that's why I said that help could be there. People talk so much about Puff and everything like that, but here's a confirmation of something that nobody puts in the conversation. When Detroit was hurt, messed up with the water, everybody sooner forget. It was Mark Wahlberg, Puff's company, that went out there and provided water for all those people out there in beautiful Detroit, huh? That's when that one time Kimmy Love said Detroit. I said, are you serious? Don't say that, mama. Shout out to Kimmy Love. You gotta love that fucking ass. Excuse me. All right, that's another story. We're not gonna do that. But it made me realize something. There's a war for resources that's still moving. And this is the answer. Because I know everybody says, they'll come on, they'll say, oh, well, hey, this is what's happening, but they ain't got no answers, right? I'll tell you what the answer is. You guys got to start supporting yourself in a whole different way. Even though you, Johnny, want to come late, and I'm sorry it's windy out here, but I wanted to talk about this when it was on my mind. One thing that I learned from them older guys and watching them, and like I said, I used to go into people's homes. They was playing Minister Feathercon on the radio. I like literally, my friend Archie Davis up in Rhode Island. Shout out to him. Shout out to Onlyville. You know what I mean? Archie and his brother, Jesus Christ, Eddie. Both of those guys, they can tell you. You know what I'm saying? Born and bred Muslim as well. You guys don't know my history. That's why it's so fucking funny when people talk shit about me. I love black people. Are you kidding me? But I see you doing something fucked up. I'm gonna tell you, fuck that one. So spread whatever narrative you want to, huh? Spread whatever narrative you want to. For the ones that are paying attention, you will be saved. And you trust me on this. This is what's happening. If you will never believe nothing else I say, believe me when I say this, because that's what I felt like I got yesterday was confirmation when I was there. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, it wasn't in the sense of anything he said. It was just the conversation itself. Y'all give me a second. I'm opening my cigarettes and grabbing a lighter. It wasn't even just the conversation itself, even though the conversation was brief. But when I was at Allah's School of Mecca yesterday, it opened my eyes to there's something broader here. And YouTube is being used as a utensil. And see, drugs are like dopamine hits. You understand what I'm saying? YouTube is a drug. We're all addicted to it. We hear every day. We need a dose, you know what I mean? Hey, yo, who got the best shit on the block? That nigga Sean. Go see him. Sean got 2 for 25 on the block. That's what it equates to when you're on here, you're on YouTube, especially if you're a YouTuber. It does. Oh, this shit could be a fucking rush. But give me a second, guys. Just 1 second. I light my cigarette. This YouTube thing is being used for nefarious reasons. I hate using that word, but that's the best word I can say. Or insidious. How about insidious reasons? And it's being used, in my opinion, as a false reality reminder or confirmation. Let me tell you what I mean by that. I lived in the shoreline, Connecticut, for years. All right. Second, we'll support that this week. Second thing also is this. Not only did I live by the shoreline, but I lived good. You understand what I'm saying? And I worked for what I lived for. So make no mistake about that. I busted my ass when I was working, but that's not the point. Those same rates that I was paying, whether it was with my mortgage or whether it was with this ready when I was doing before that, and I got the mortgage, you can't even afford to live out there no more. If you live out there where I used to live at, you might as well, you know what I'm saying? You might as well live here somewhere else because it's about the same prices. That's one mechanism. They're pricing people out. They just did a study around here. Please listen to me if you're not, because there's a whole bunch of components right here. My battery's charged up, so I got a minute. This is worth my time. You know what I'm saying? This is worth my time. You have a lot of components right now that are going into YouTube to further if you want to say, the little fickle that we got going on here. If you notice very carefully, if you are a Black or Latin content creator, and we have this proof, and there's a video on TikTok that you can go watch right now, and it's a female Latina creator, and she talks about how certain companies, they don't give her products and stuff like that, and how certain companies didn't want to give her a product because they felt like she didn't fit the demographic for, say, like France or Germany. I'm like, how? Well, Spain's right there. You know what I'm saying? They do this to African American and like Asian and many other people too. Some people, they do it sneakily, they do it with a smile. I hate a motherfucker that does it with a smile. And then there's some people that just outright tell you this how it is, depending on where you live, what demographic you're in. So this shit exists, and I'm pretty sure if you look it up here on YouTube, you'll find the same video to confirm what I'm saying. They X a lot of people out of these brand deals and everything like that for the pure simple fact, I want you to be rich, just not richer than me. Let me say that for you again. It's okay if you're rich, just as long as you ain't richer than me. You know what I mean? And that element right there, alongside a whole bunch of other different elements, like where I live at, when I walk around this town, and there was just an article today, and I'm going to share in the community section. You guys, if you see me looking away, it's because the sun is in my eye, okay? But just the other day, I think it was the day before yesterday, they had an article about homelessness in the state of Connecticut. Governor Lamont is addressing it. And I think somewhat of like 45 million or whatever. Like, some people get mad at him the way he spends his money because he got a whole bunch of COVID money. And he's like Trump. He was a multi-billionaire. He's from right here in this town right here. So, you know what I'm saying? He busted his ass. He got where he got. He's just like billionaires. But COVID money wisely, I'll give them that. So they allocated this money towards, I think, housing and things like that or whatever. Of course, you know, January, I think it's 20-something's got to pass, and it'll be fully amended where it's now law, and the monies will be, you know, distributed to each county or whatever. That's how Connecticut is broken up. It's broken up into counties. Like, for example, I used to live in New London County. You know what I mean? So, and now I live in Fairfield County. So anyway, long story short, that money will be here. Yes, it will. But when I walk around the streets in my city, and this is a very opulent place, trust me when I tell you that. And people ride around here and stuff, Lamborghinis, four-door Porsches, Maseratis, you name it. You know what I mean? The state has a lot of money. It's nothing I can do to avoid that. You know what I mean? To give you a quick example, Bill Clinton and his wife graduated from right up the street up here at Yale in New Haven. Also did, Jesus Christ, Joe Biden. Joe Biden. I don't know if Joe Biden was there, but I know the Bushes used to live in New Haven County for decades. When the younger Bush got out of the White House, that's when they returned back to Texas. Prior to that, they're Yale graduates, and they lived right here in the state of Connecticut. Captain Hepburn lived probably 20 minutes from me out when I used to live in or whatever. She had a beautiful house out there, had 2 decks for boats. She lived in Old Saybrook. Eartha Kitt, she died, and her home was right, literally a stone drop away. I can walk there. Diana Ross lives same place that Eartha Kitt passed away at. I ain't gonna name everybody's location and shit like that, but yeah, we have a lot of opulent. Martha Stewart lives out here. Eric LaSalle, if y'all remember him, he was the one that had the Jerry Curl. His family had the Jerry Curl thing, and he was playing the husband to be. He was trying to marry her. He's from Bridgeport, Connecticut. You also see him on ER. That's not far from him. So a lot of these stars or whatever, they live here, and they work here, whatever the case may be. They ain't gonna be the same for everybody because there's an opulence here, yes, but there's also another reality here. You guys have seen when I got off the train station, I had to show y'all one time. I ain't putting my face in it, but I had to show y'all. It's like, yo, there's no reason these people should be sleeping here, and there's this much motherfucking money in the city. You literally got people sleeping on the stairwell. You know what I'm saying? And that shit's messed up. It's messed up. But that is one of the things that I see is the men. I don't see nothing but brown and black men sleeping in them hallways. You get a sprinkle of a white man here and there. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? Like Mostly all the faces I see is black and brown. And so throughout the whole state, evidently, because this has made the local news out here, that seems to be the same everywhere. So that's one way that everybody ain't gonna win. You understand what I'm saying? And what it'll be your responsibility, all these people I'm talking about on these podcasts. I'm an entrepreneur. I make $400,000 a year off OnlyFans. All right, well, bitch, what you doing with the money? You just buy cars and jewelry and shit. Like if that's all you doing, I mean that's old school shit. It'd be so funny that these younger rappers, they'd be like, yo, that's some old school shit. That's some old school shit. Well, I mean, nigga, you old school too. You got the usual suspects, the chain, the big car, the clothes. You understand? You got the usual suspects, but the guy already did that. I know. I was the same one. I was the same guy. You know what I mean? Well, things I'll give people like NBA Youngboy and a couple of other ones, they invest their money. That's one thing I will say. So when I was talking to the older guy, Mecca, what up? I was talking to the older guy yesterday. I don't want to put him out there where he's, you know what I mean? Because I know YouTube is all that shit. It may become the confirmation of something else. Not only is it housing that's going to be nixed out, but there's something else. It's something else. And that's resources. See, when you have an overpowered, if you have a, okay, so let me give you an example. There's this thing called food deserts. Have you guys heard of this? Food deserts. I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear this because this is not gossiping or whatever. And if you want to, you know, log off. But do me a favor, share this so some other people hear this. If you don't want to hear this, that's fine. You know what I mean? But I'm going to talk about it because it's my duty to do so, I believe. Peace already. All right, so for those who left the chat room, resources is another thing that's high in demand. Have you been in a grocery store lately? Have you been to the grocery store? Who in their chat room has been to the grocery store lately? Tell me you ain't spent no less than $125. Go ahead. I don't care what city you live in. Even if you just buy eggs, that right there damn near gonna cost you $4. If you buy milk, that's gonna cost you about $6. If you buy a gallon, buy half a gallon, that's gonna cost you damn near $4. Well, there are these food deserts that are being created because of the same reason I talked about before. Housing. See, all this shit go together. Wherever you got poverty, you got crime. Take it from ex-criminal. I know. I said X for anybody listening. I said 8 pages more. Y'all know that? 8 pages, I swear to God. I used to do all kinds of shit. I wore the last month. I swear to God. I put it up over here on what's the name before. You can find it, but it's still up here on this page. It ain't locked or nothing like that. It's there. 8 pages. Because it was like, yo, you ain't got no air. Oh, really? Here you go. You know what I'm saying? I ain't proud of that shit, but I'm just saying, I know how that life is. And so when you got, and what I mean by that, I mean the extremes of it. Like, my nigga, listen, let me tell you, I just got to throw this in. Like, it was times we was like, we was sleeping in fucking trap houses, all that, a fucking Fee's house, whatever. Crash on the couch, nigga got like $3,000 in his pocket. I swear to God, he was the truth. My man, he could confirm this. Nigga, I had like fucking, it was at least 7 G's in my pocket. I fell asleep. It was my man's. I fell asleep, and somehow or another, all the spread fell out on the fucking floor. The whole spread while I was asleep. So I didn't know or nothing like that. And I ain't gonna front. My man, he probably took about 200-300 or whatever. But he tapped me and woke me up. Like, he was my man, but I wasn't with him every day. But like, he tapped me and woke me up. He was like, yo, son, you dropped your money. I was like, yo, that's worth $200-300 because the nigga could have took the whole spread and just bounced out of town, and so I would never see him. So $7,000 will get you a little bit. It'll get you relocated. Let's say that. It'll get you relocated. Is that fair? So yeah, I know that life. When you got homelessness and you got an expanded amount of homelessness, what happens is you have these people commit crime. So if you pay attention to a lot of these videos you see in CBS and Dwayne Reed and all these places or whatever, what it is, it's a direct result of that poverty. These niggas are going in there and grabbing that shit and selling it. You don't believe me? Listen, who in here live in the New York City tri-state area? Go to Bridgeport like 4 o'clock in the morning. There's a nigga out there that got anything you need. You need diapers. What you need? You need Q-tips. I think I got a whole 300 pack of Q-tips. At 4 o'clock in the morning? So I was about to go to fuck the corner store. Fuck with me. Fuck with me. That's how they always got that friend. Fuck with me. Shout out shit. I know a fiend. We used to know a fiend named Wancho. Wancho, shout out to Wancho. I think Wancho passed away, but shout out to Wancho. Wancho could fix any fucking car you had. Foreign, domestic, it don't matter. Wancho would hop under that motherfucker. I think his last name was Santiago. He hop up under that motherfucker. That motherfucker be fixed before 5 p.m. What you need, Wancho? Yo, get it off some ass. That's all you had to pay that nigga a beer. Oh, Peter Wancho, man, it's factory. But listen, that's a true. Oh, yo, that's just shit be funny. Because all the stories I be telling be the truth, and niggas be thinking like niggas is lying. Like, nah, so I got niggas confirm everything I'm saying. Ain't a nigga ever jumped over here and said I was lying. Ever. You know what I'm saying? Ever. About nothing. That nigga really ain't bad boy. Oh, really? Hey, what the nigga over here say? It used to be the marketing director. Hey, what he say? The marketing director used to be right next to Puff saying, yes, he is. You know, it is what it is, you know. I can't erase my history of who I am. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I can offer what I got to offer. And it's been something I've been offering before. You know what I mean? Oh, hold on one second. Anybody that worked up in the office as a bad boy will tell you this, right? They're going to tell you, they're going to say, yo, that every time that bro spoke to us, he always say, yo, brother, your sister. Ask anybody. Anybody no professional will say that. I prefer to everybody as brother and sister, especially if you're black or Latino. Ask anybody. So I've been on this kick ever since I was like me, how my mom was on this kick, and my father. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what you'll miss me with that. But when the culture fucking up, or the culture missing soul spots that are being provided to them by YouTube is offering opportunities. OnlyFans is offering opportunities, yes. But that shit gonna come to a halt and a close. There's too many vajays on OnlyFans right now. It's too many vajays to choose from. And the best ones got the cheapest prices. My shit, like, there's girls on there that got, I just heard. This is what I heard. I'm gonna say, that's what I heard. That's what I heard. I heard from somebody. You know, shit. I think it was an article. Anyway, listen, I checked it out. I ain't gonna lie to you. And it's girls on there that have a range from like, I've seen $49. I think that was the most, no. I think $120 was the most expensive one I saw. That was from this Asian chick. Then I saw another one for a white chick, and I think that one was kind of expensive. That was like 79. And then some of them, it's an economy. Like to make no mistake about it. I mean, all money is the same. You understand? So, you know, if you made $1 million from drugs, you made $1 million from OnlyFans, you made $1 million from the market, it's still $1 million. You know what I'm saying? And those are resources that can be used. So that's why I say with a lot of these women, they out here and they shouting, yo, I'm liberated, the case may be. What you're going to find is 10 years, 15 years from now, you're going to be such in a rut because men have a perception of you that you don't hire men, you only exclusively hire other women. So now you have no protection. You know what I'm saying? And the hiring protection is not going to be loyal to you because of pure simple fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing that I heard Corey Holcomb say that's so true, because that's true in the hip hop world. I think it was last Tuesday he said, yo, you saw my Cat Williams, and he said, yo, your security, he backed up from you and backed up to the side of the other dude. I said, that's wild. He was the hired help, that's why. Or you got to watch the hired help. Ain't y'all paying attention? Will Smith, that was a hired help. Cassie, she ran off with the hired help. You understand what I'm saying there? The hired help, man. That's the worst position you could be in. You know what I'm saying? To be engaged or entangled with them. That's the word that we're using now, entangled. You entangled with the hired help, and they sitting there and they gossip, and they go run right to YouTube, tell your whole story. Yo, I remember back in '84, right? It really was 1996. You know, it was there when I was sitting there, they was having the orgy. You know what I'm saying? When I was sitting there, I was watching them having the orgy. I said, yo, this is raw. But I ain't saying nothing. But here, 20 years later, I want to tell y'all the story. The fuck? I sat there, well, this is how these niggas be on YouTube. Yeah, man, I remember sitting there watching the orgy, you know what I'm saying, and the spikes and everything else that was used, right? And I remember back in 2004, I really wanted to say something, but I ain't say nothing because I knew, you know, it would put the company in jeopardy. So I ain't saying nothing, you know what I'm saying? Plus the parties would have stopped. But I was just watching, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really have nothing. I got a videotape somewhere. I'll never find it, but I got a videotape. Yo, shout out to King Pay. Yeah, that shit was hilarious last night on this show. I watched as much as I could of it, but that dude's voice, not King Payne, the dude he was playing, his voice was just so contradicted and so just benign. That was just like, I can't do this no more. So I can't listen to this. This nigga whole shit is bad vibes. This nigga lied to his audience, talking about he sling D, but he a preacher. Oh, I was like, yo, I'm confused. I'm confused. Man, oh man, I got a new thing I will be doing here too with this channel. I think that'll work out. So y'all can really see. Now I've always been on the same shit. You know, I ain't never been any different. Back to the resources. These resources are going to be taken over. You know, like we got 90,000 migrants that's made their way to New York City alone, neighboring city from me. And then over here, I forgot how much an estimate is that we got over here, but we got a lot over here too. And so, you know what I'm saying? Far from me be saying, because I'm half of an immigrant, right? But hey, it is what it is. It's a different plateau. And if you told to tap in with the Latinx community, which a lot of African Americans, you should be. Look up Latinx community. Y'all, excuse me, I got sick. It was raining up here last night hard. I got caught in it. But if you look up the Latinx community online, just look at some of the narratives they have, some of the conversations they have. And of course, you won't agree with all of it, but you should always be interested in what other people say and what they're talking about. Because what you'll find is you do have some common grounds in certain places. You know what I mean? One of them being resources is a big one, and another one, there seems to be a divide between the Latinx community and the migrant community that's arriving, a very big divide. And, you know, like I'll give you an example. Like in New York, right? Everybody, mostly I'm used to being around is like, and as y'all can see in my videos, my friends, you know what I'm saying? Everything like that. Shout out to La Mujer de la Hondora. But like, as y'all can see, like everybody I've been around like Honduran, Dominican, Puerto Rican, definitely Panamanian, Cuban, of course. Hey, what would it be without Cubans? Jersey got one of the biggest Cuban communities outside Miami. That's a fact. Anybody say any different, they lie. Especially like Passaic County. Like, yeah, well. Anyway, long story short, salud la gente en la cubano, tú sabes siempre. But yo, you'll find in the Latinx community, there's a lot of people that are there that are pundits for and against the immigration policies that currently hold. You'd be surprised how many there are. There's a ton of them. And the population that I'm used to hanging around with, and the new population, they're from like Ecuador, Peru, Mexico, El Salvador. Ecuador is interesting right now because they got a gang war brewing over there, a real big gang war. And then same thing goes with Colombia and certain parts right now. They have a big game. See, if y'all don't understand, let me make y'all understand this. So I'm trying to make y'all understand how y'all affected by this too, why you should be speaking about different conversations in 2024. Fuck gossiping about a nigga. You know what I'm saying? That nigga did that shit. The judge gonna hit him. Then we talk about it. You know what I'm saying? If he did that shit, the judge, all these conversations, and I mean, who y'all advocating for? The police station? Like, let me know, man, because I don't fuck with no snitches and cop niggas and shit. Like, I want to have conversations with niggas in the chat. Well, we find one of y'all niggas a cop, man. I bet y'all see you before the trial start. But anyway, listen. Facts. Yo, anyway, listen. That's the thing. How you're being affected is amount of dollars that was spent in, I think, 3 months in New York City feeding. This had so many layers to it. I went to the Row Hotel and I actually did a freaking whole thing there. It got a lot of views. And I was surprised it got a lot of views from a lot of people I never thought it would. And there I said in the video, I said, listen, and I said in Spanish to them, I said, listen, the resources are going to run out, like the money going to run out. This past Monday, at that same hotel, they had migrants moving out of the hotel now, and now you only have a 60-day full stay. Prior to that, the people were there staying there. They were staying there for like a year, year and a half. Now that Row Hotel, this is not all a hotel. This is one of the biggest hotels in New York City. But what happened was when the COVID shit happened, everybody stopped coming to New York because New York had got hit so hard. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I was in the middle of that. You know, people talk shit about me or whatever. Nigga, I was in the middle of the pandemic in New York City. I got multiple videos of me being on the train, and you'll see for 8 cars, there's no one. I got caught in the George Floyd riot shit. I'm gonna put that back up for y'all since you know niggas don't believe me. I filmed the whole shit. I walked past a nigga tell me, yo, son, what kind of phone is that? He didn't know I was recording. I said, why? He said, yo, I like that shit. You don't have to run that. I said, I ain't running shit, nigga. What the fuck you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? On camera. Like, you're not gonna stun on me like that. Trust me, I'm not gonna be easy. It was just crazy, man, because that whole era right there created a different New York City, you know. And some people told me, "Oh, New York is quiet." Nah, the gangsters just be inside till it get like around about nighttime. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's an old joint. You know what I mean? Good night. In morning time, it's 6 a.m. Good night to all the drug dealers and strippers. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what y'all be on. You know what I'm saying? All this, you know, fake conservative shit. Y'all emulating conservatives. Y'all know that? Y'all iterate and imitate conservatives. The conservatives, trust me, don't care about you. They gave up on you back when fucking Frederick Douglass was here. Ask Umar that. I bet you he won't say anything different than what I just said. Ask Umar Johnson that shit. I bet you won't say nothing different than what I just said. The key to this year is economics and what we're placing this money. That's why I say so many times that so many people, they get so sensitive. You said the wrong thing to me. No, I'm trying to help you, motherfuckers. The same shit I've been doing. But after you've been trying to do this shit for years, you start getting a little fucking frustrated. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't like the way I curse or whatever. I want y'all to look up something. It says people that curse are some of the most honest people in the world. Look that up right now. See what it says about people that curse. I found this out some years ago. I said, well, shit, I'm on the right path. I'm trying to help you guys. I really am. I'm telling you, there's something brewing. You don't see it right now, but this fucking YouTube shit is being used for that reason. I said, why are so many people on social media that are the same color? Why are they beefing with each other? You notice how I just explained to you about Latinx and the migrant community? It's the same shit. It's like this contingency of the have and the have-nots and the African-American and Latin community that are going against and trying to tear down the financial structures. And just like I mentioned the other day, I said, well, yeah, that's true, but say them niggas ain't guilty. Say them niggas ain't guilty. Like we had this conversation before with Bill Cosby. We said, oh, well, Bill tried to buy NBC. Okay, yeah. Bill tried to buy NBC. Now, I'm a firm believer in this much. You know what I'm saying? I don't go along with all Jaguar rights conspiracy theories or whatever, but there is some realms of truth for some of the things she does say, some of the things she mentions, some of the things she says, as long as it's originally hers and it's not regurgitated fucking Google motherfucking articles. That's the shit I don't stand for. But Happy New Year's anyway, Scrams, if you're listening. You fucking fuck. Anyway. These arguments are going on in multiple different cultures about this migrant crisis. And what's happening is if you have to feed 90,000 people and they're staying at a Row Hotel, this has over, I believe it was 1,135 rooms. That's how big the hotel was. This is a luxury hotel at one time. You understand what I'm saying? This is a huge hotel. The other hotel, which is the Roosevelt, same thing. Shout out to my man, always want to say his name, Don something. I forgot what his name. I'm sorry, bro. We follow each other, so I know you'll see this. I'm sorry, I forgot what your last name is, but Don, he went over there to the Roosevelt and covered that. You know what I'm saying? That's the main place they have to go to check in. So these are not just migrants. These are just migrants that are coming from Mexico and Ecuador and these places I mentioned. Now, a lot of these people are coming by way through Latin America, and the majority of them, a lot of them, they showed this by a video I saw at the border, a lot of them happen to be Asian. Now, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but one of the biggest immigrating populations that does it illegally is actually not Latinos, it's Asians. into this country. Has been for some 20 years now. Now, if you don't believe me, go to the Department of Justice right now website. You'll see that for yourself. You see it for yourself. Y'all give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna light the cigarette. All right. You have these arguments in both cultures. And these arguments are ultimately going to be a fight, physical fight. Listen to me, a physical fight. Unless some of you motherfuckers have to be farmers and own a couple of acres. If y'all come forward now, listen to me. These little itty bitty arguments that we're having here on YouTube about gossiping and who we gonna bring down or whatever, they're using that as a mechanism. They're hoping that you gossip about these motherfuckers. They throw out stories on purpose. I honestly and truthfully believe this. They throw out stories on purpose. I'll give you an example so y'all can see it. Excuse me. Y'all can see it from an outside perspective, okay? So I won't use African Americans and Latinos as the premise. So what I'll do instead is I'll use Marvel and let's see. I'll use Marvel and Jonathan Majors. I think that's a good example. Marvel and Jonathan Majors right now, what they're trying to do is they're trying to do a PR campaign because they know just as well as I know that man ain't guilty. I was there. I was in the courtroom with them first day. You know what I'm saying? This is a fact. I came outside. That video is still available, so you see it. There's 3 bellows right there. So if I was lying, they would have definitely said you wasn't in the courtroom because they had to let me in. You know what I'm saying? So hey, it's that argument. You'll see them in the video. The other thing is this. The way I measure this is what happened with the Jonathan Majors thing and how they throw out stories out there is Marvel does something similar. So there's a whole bunch of vloggers that are on here and they do specifically just reviews of movies. They do reviews of movies, they do the predictions of movies, they do the predictions of, you know what I'm saying, what's going to happen next. I've been in comic books shit since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? My cousin, R.I.P., he just died not too long ago, about 2 years ago. Sean, he got me into it. That was my older cousin. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. to my mom, shout out to family. I miss him. I miss him a lot. That was the first time I cried in a long time. I don't cry about shit. I cried about that. Real talk. It's a funny feeling. Like, you can't even control that shit. You just like, damn. You know what I mean? That shit, wow. I'm like kind of sad just thinking about it. But Marvel, they use like a trajectory of what they do is they go on to these certain bloggers, especially the big bloggers that cover comic book movies and shit like that. And what they do is they grab little pieces of what they say or whatever, and they target their market to throwing out little pieces and excerpts, like, you know, quick little fucking flash or mini trailer or whatever, get the bloggers talking, they get up, draft anticipation. It's going to be a great one. You see it every time, and they use the same pattern every fucking time. I'm telling you this here. They use the same pattern every time. Well, they're doing the same pattern here on YouTube. See, they throwing out little stories, little tidbits, and now they got some of the actors and comedians, and it's going to go higher to in a minute. Next thing you know, it's going to be the politicians even more. Do y'all know the motherfucker that was that prosecuted Jonathan Majors as a black dude? Did y'all know that? Fought long and hard for white supremacy. No, we got to lock this nigga up. Let's get him for at least 2 charges. We got to get false. He passed me probably 3 or 4 times, and I didn't even know that was him until I saw a picture of him. I was like, oh my God, he's on the camera. I have him on camera. This is the man, a black man prosecuted Jonathan Majors. Yes, you heard me correctly, a black man. Oh, ain't no sympathy up in here when you come up in the master's house showing your ass. No, boy. Smash a candy plantation. Holders of the motherfucking key. You understand what I'm saying? Holders of the key. Now, the real holders of the key are like nigga like, you ever seen that J. Cole video? Get off my, excuse my French, get off my dick. Y'all ever seen that one? He depicts a plantation or whatever, and all the dark-skinned field, dudes, they don't like him because the house dudes, I ain't gonna say that on camera like that because somebody hear it. The house dudes, they, y'all know what I mean. The house dudes, they in the house and they out in the field, so they despise them. So it's a tier to slavery, if y'all ain't know that. You know what I'm saying? And so, oh yes, there's a tier to slavery. You know what I mean? Depending on what you look like, what your facial features are, all that shit. It's sad, but it goes like that universally, Caribbean too. So anyway, long story short, right? They turn around and they despise him so much, but all the time he got a plan working, and the plan is he's flirting with the master's daughter, or whatever, get friendly with her, gets her to take the key from master. Not only that, grabs the guns. Shorty has something to do with the guns, and he's like, "Here, nigga, come on. You got to break the fuck up out of here." And at the end of the fucking movie, what they do, they set the whole fucking plantation on fire. It was fucking beautiful cinema if I ever seen it. That was fucking cinema. So if y'all ain't never seen that J. Cole video, go watch it. Get Off My Dick. That's the name of it. I swear to God, that's the name of it. Interesting video. Don't listen to the song. Watch the video along with the song. They are using YouTube and dropping these fucking little, hey, guess what? Because they have a business that's dying. The business model was dying, as we previously knew. I guess that's my little truth breaker right there, right? And even for you motherfucking entrepreneurs, it's the same thing. You get too many entrepreneurs, the business collides on itself. You can't have too many sellers and not enough buyers. That's basically what I'm getting at here. And that's what's happening with hip hop. That's what's happening with country music. That's what's happening with TV. All these old pop-up things like the Tubies and the Hulus and all that or whatever. Sooner or later, the market's going to get saturated where you have more sellers than you have consumers. Once that happens, everybody's going to make moderately the same amount of money or no fucking money at all. And that's what's happening to the music business and media in general. And I said this with streaming. I said this on OG Mac Drama Show. Shout out to him. I used to be on that show. Y'all think I'm new with this. I'm not new with this. I was doing this shit in 2013, 14 in Arizona. So shout out to OG Mac Drama, well-known 50 Brick Squad. You know what I'm saying? They shouted me out and gave me a shout in the post. I'm going to take I got to find that shit. I'm going to take a snapshot and put it up. But they shouted me out, tagged me or something. So I appreciate that. Shout out to Dabra Atney. Shout out to Waka Flocka Flame, Brick Squish Squad. That's my crew right there. That's my original crew. You know what I mean? I might have to link back up with OG Mac Drama. If y'all don't know who OG Mac Drama is, go look them up. If y'all want to hear the older podcasts we used to do, just put in Blog Talk Radio, OG Mac Drama, featuring Davy Lewis. They'll come up. Trust me. Listen to them. We interviewed a lot of people. I like to be one of the people to say, and I ain't told my own horn or nothing like this, but man, I told you. That's all I'm gonna say. Many people don't know Math Hoffa. I like to consider him a friend to this day. I haven't seen Math in person in a very long time, but I met Math at Daddy's House Recording Studio, and at that time he had his Tupac gear, something like that. I forgot what it was, and he was promoting that. He was up there. We used to go to Daddy's House Recording Studio, and there's a lounge in there, so we used to just chilling there. Niggas being there playing pool. We have like little get-togethers and shit like that. Shout out to Flames Flow. You know what I mean? All them up at the studio, whatever. But that's what we used to do. And so, Jesus Christ. I walked up to him and started speaking to him because I was a fan of the battle rap shit. I just like to think of this as a street nigga because if y'all don't know, Matthew used to knock niggas the fuck out on the Smack TV. I'm talking about literally knock niggas out. Like, I think the last nigga he got into a fight with before he started the podcast was in Miami. Where he got into it with Scrams Jones. He got into it with, what's son's name for Jersey? He rocked that nigga 2 times. That shit was crazy. Like, I'm talking about actually hit him. But Math Hoffa, we interviewed him early on before he even started his podcast. And he did it as a favor for me. Also, he did me another favor, and I got him on the radio up in Hartford, Connecticut. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can put that probably in too with Craig G and all that. It'll come up. Shout out to them up there in the Heartbeat. You know what I mean? But that's a true story. You can ask Math Hoffa that himself. Like I said, I haven't seen him in a very long time. But shout out to Math Hoffa. I still consider you a friend. He always be like, yo, Dad, what up? You know what I mean? Every time I spoke to him, I'm sure if I seen him now, he would say the same thing. You know what I mean? People do not know them. I don't know why people doubt the amount of people I know. I was around for 17 fucking years. Like, who? Like, if I bake cookies, would you not think I know the nigga that sells the best fucking chocolate chips? Like, 17 years of experience. I don't know. Who do you think I don't know? Oh, Jesus Christ. That shit's crazy to me. People spend more time trying. That's another story. Anyway, listen here. Back to what we were talking about with this resources thing. I like to stick with that. You have these things being implemented now called food deserts. And what's happening is, and I was revert back to what I was saying earlier, with the poverty and all that shit, I'm not like this, it keeps going down because of the wind. These food deserts are being created because people are coming into these grocery stores and they're stealing because they don't have nothing. You know what I mean? That's why I said, y'all know how much a motherfucker was on here one time talking about he needed money for us to donate so he go to the grocery store. Yes, nigga. I'm a single man that lives by himself. You know what I'm saying? I have no second income coming in for no chick or whatever. Yes, I need all the money I can get. Factory. I'm not telling y'all donate to this. This is salt the muscle. You want to donate, you donate. You don't, you don't. I don't care on this one. You know what I'm saying? We'll do the promotion of the donating one. I just hold this to y'all so y'all can really understand because a lot of y'all don't know me. So you think I said something rude to you. No, I'm being honest with you. We got to change some things in the black and line culture quickly. They're setting up colonization 2.0 and they're using social media to do it. And y'all, and a lot of motherfuckers is greedy. See, what it really boils down to is motherfuckers is greedy. These food deserts that I was mentioning that are being created, they're being created by poor people coming in there stealing food, stealing clothes in some cases, or at the CVS, at the grocery store. So after a loss prevention comes in, they do their losses for the year. They say to themselves, hey, you know what? We got to get the fuck about this neighborhood. And that's what you're seeing with Walmart right now. That's what you're seeing with Dwayne Reed. That's what you're seeing with Dollar Tree. These companies are moving the fuck out of these neighborhoods. So once at a time, you could have walked out the door. You know, in the wintertime, it gets cold in Chicago. I know Chicago. It's cold here in the Northeast. I know this area. It's cold in a couple other places. They're moving out of these areas, but they're not even taking into account what's the actual demographic. I don't think. I think they're just putting locations and betting on poor people coming there based off of demographic. And I hate to say this, of social services. Meaning like this. You're guaranteed, I would say, for because that's how I win the drug game. Like you're guaranteed for like the first 2 weeks, if people receive some type of social aid or something like that, or whatever, food stamps, whatever. You're guaranteed for at least the first 2 weeks, those people are going to be loaded. So what they're going to do is going to be the culmination of them to come in for at very least the first week, I would think, and then it'll slow down after the second week or whatever. But that first week, that's when you have all your sales and everything like that. So it'll appear when they get to the counter that they get the deal. But actually, that shit came up to about $60, $70. I got you. Now you do that probably like you have, let's say, in that day, 15,000 customers to come through. That's a lot of fucking money in a demographic of a town that has, let's say, a population of small town, 200,000 people. Let's say a small town. If say a larger town, let's say average city in this outside New York and places like that has about 600,000, 400,000 residents. With just 10,000 people coming through that door that day and spending out of that social service money or whatever, that's a lot of money because the government in turn pays that out to them. And there's some tax abatements for it, all kinds of shit. There's all kinds of kickbacks for that type of shit when you take it. That's why a lot of these stores take it. There's money on top of the money. Oh, the money's insured, all that shit. I did my investigation about that. A lot of these social services, they exist. They give the falsehood that they're giving free money, but really a lot of this money is insured. A lot of this money is put in the stock market, a whole bunch of other shit, believe it or not. And people, they take advantage of these things. There's been numerous different people that have had scams in New York City, I can name, and Connecticut. There was one guy, I mean, fucking everybody know, Cornish. Cornish had a corner store. He was doing the same type of hustle. He had motherfuckers coming in, I'll buy you food stamps from you, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy. Like, and they caught him. And I guess altogether it came up to like $150,000. And he did this in the course of only 3 to 4 months before somebody snitched on him because they was mad. So how you gonna do me like this? The shit you doing is illegal. But they came back. That's what I said. Don't always think somebody ain't gonna come back. You know what I mean? Shit, I mean, in my profession, they come back. But listen, this is the thing. These people that are throwing these things on YouTube, they're throwing it towards a crowd that's pretty much in poverty. If you ever notice that, most of the people that are on YouTube or whatever, that are subscribers, if you really dig down, or you can find them on social media. I found a couple of them on outside of social media on YouTube, and I go look at their profile. I'm like, oh wow, there was this one girl was talking the most shit to me, told me I having degrees and everything, and I swear to you, God, this chick had 4 kids at home and lived in the projects. She had pictures in front of the projects in Jersey. Are you talking about me? Mom, I ain't never had a lease in the projects ever. Neither did my mother, neither did my father. I don't know what the fuck you talking about. But hold yourself, Mom. Hold yourself to a better accord. There be subscribers that be on here, they be talking to good God, but it's to give you an imagery. Are they something that they're not? That's why I never get on here, act like I'm nothing that I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm a nigga that got a great opportunity to work for a big record company. That shit is not over. But at the same time, it's over. I don't receive no checks from them or nothing like that or whatever, whatever. I'm more just so counsel at these days. You know, something will come up. I'm building things together right now, writing music. You know what I'm saying? I play music for y'all sometimes. It's older music, but you know what I'm saying? It sounds like it came out now, right? I was ahead of my time. But and it's not that old. But anyway, long story short, I can't sit here and let these things transpire and be like, oh, well, because if worst came to worst, and tomorrow there was a fire on Earth, and all the jiggy motherfuckers, and how my uncle say that shit one time, jitterbugging motherfucker. That shit was the funniest shit ever. My uncle said, they still out here jitterbugging? I said, shit, that shit's funny. I said, yeah, they still doing it up. Anyway, if something happened tomorrow, all these people will uniformly gather together, despite all the differences between monetary means and social needs and social structure and social status, perceived or in reality. You know what I mean? And they would fight together. But are you prepared to fight? I'm here to tell you, you're going to have to fight physically. That means you too, ladies. That means you too. Black women don't get online amongst their bragging. I'm talking about a certain type here. I'm not talking about all black women, so please don't not leave this room. Because ladies, some of y'all tired of these type of bitches. Black women get online and they're obnoxious, and it's a certain ilk, tier, and type that gets online and they try to emulate the most obnoxious, most benign, most insidious white chicks they could possibly emulate. They don't emulate like a good white chick or a cool white chick. They emulate the worst types of white ones. And that's what I hate. I'm like, no, you acting like a prude. That's not acting like you got class. You're acting like a prude. I saw this a lot when I was in Atlanta. There's a lot of Black and Latin prudes down there. If you don't know what a prude is, look up the definition. But like prude people, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not used to prude people down there. And they held on so high regard, but that still, you got people getting shot at your clubs and your neighborhoods every fucking weekend. One of those happened to be a friend of ours on SO and everything else, 2 Ethiopian brothers, RP to Alice, man. That shit's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because we were in the clubs, you know what I'm saying? Like for real. BT Hip Hop Awards was in Atlanta. So we was down there. We was down there the same year T.I. We went to a thing at Compound for T.I. when he got released. And we also went to one at King of Diamonds in Miami, which Cassie was at, because we sat there and we did this thing where we would link our arms. We did this at all the installs. We would link our arms or whatever, and usher in the artist, you know what I mean? And her and Puff had to walk right. They had to walk through us. You know what I'm saying? We rode in the same shuttles, and that's why niggas say we were some gophers. I was like, we some gophers. Nigga, we was living just like them niggas. Like, literally. We stayed at the nicest places. We ate good. Like, we had damn money all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't complain too much. Wasn't been for Sean Perez and Puff, I wouldn't have seen the United States at the extent that I have and the way that I have. You know what I'm saying? And be there to lead you. You know how much it costs you to stay at motherfucking the Cleveland and Miami, nigga? She hot. What y'all niggas on? Nothing down here at the Cleveland. Let me let you go. Let me call you back. DJ MB on the set. I used to be like that all the time. I swear to God. Oh, just off topic real quick. I just want to say this. There was a gentleman that came into my comments. I didn't see him at first, and he left a comment. And I believe the comment said, if I'm correct here, he said, don't you know he's out for some type of real estate fraud or something like that or whatever? Mind you, he didn't mention Caesar Pena, who's really at the top of this discussion, the case or whatever the case. But he didn't even mention him. If I would have threw up a picture with Caesar, he wouldn't have said nothing maybe. But I wrote it back and I said, and I wanted to say, homie, I've known this man and we've been around this man since 2011. You know what I mean? 2011. It is now 2024. So you think your drive-by-night comment gonna make me stop? I mean, whatever they get into, they get into. If they get, if they get convicted or something, I'm not gonna support that. Yeah, you was duping the people, you know. But I'm telling you, this is on a larger scale. There's a movie that I implore all y'all go watch right now. No matter how you feel, watch the movie. It's called The Book of Clarence. All right. And the reason I say that is because it's about Jesus for one, but it's not in the way that y'all think. And I've now watched the movie, and I'm gonna tell you how this correlates into what YouTube is. In the movie, a man depicts himself as Jesus. And he goes around and just like Jesus, perform miracles and everything like that, or whatever the case may be. When he turns around and y'all should listen to this because this makes sense and it goes synonymous with YouTube. Those two people that just logged off, they just don't get what I'm saying. But in the movie, he pretends that he does miracles like Jesus Christ. So he's basically a phony, fraud, or whatever the case may be. And all these people that give money to him. Now, this was his plan the whole time, just to get the money, right? You listening to me here? His whole plan was just to get the money. He got the money and he got found out by blacks, but he gave him a little money back or whatever was just depicted in the movie. They all depicted as black. And he didn't stop until the Romans caught him, which is depicted in the movie. And so the whole time he was duping people, making them think he could do miracles, and he couldn't do any miracles. You understand how that can be correlated to some of these YouTubers? They act like they could do miracles, but they can't. Some of these personalities doing these interviews, they act like they can do miracles, but they can't. They can't do any miracles for you because if they were doing any miracles, they would give you information. And that's why I say, being so long that at first I was a person that watched YouTube to 4 years ago now, being a YouTube creator, I know the difference. And I know there was a segue somewhere where, and I still say, Boyce Watkins, you the fault of it. Had you not ever, between your financial lessons or whatever you want to call it, had you not ever segued just for views and got into like celebrity gossip, I don't think some of the younger people that are doing YouTube right now, I don't think they would have segued to gossip because they saw that was a means to get views. You understand what I'm saying? So like the Tariq Nasheeds and the who else is in that category? Tommy Sotomayers and Boyce Watkins or whatever. They made their coins and they were at the high of this motherfucker. What's his name? There's a guy named Benjamin Dixon, right? I was with this guy when this nigga used to have maybe 20 people in his chat room. If y'all don't know him, look him up. He's one of these fucking we call Green Party supporters. I like some of the things they were talking about, but not really. But you know what I'm saying? Him himself, I liked him as a personality. He's right out of Boston. He's a local boy. And he's a black dude. And his name is Benjamin Dixon. And so I was with this dude when he probably had 20 people in the chat room. And he had no setup. He had no nothing. He was just in his room and he was recording. This is a true story. And go ask him yourself. Ask him if he knows Davin Lewis. See what he says. And so this is probably like 8 years ago. And so I used to always be in his chat. I used to always support him. And then I started seeing what I had predicted for him. I said, you're going to be big. You don't realize it yet, but you're going to be big. He'll tell you I said those words to him, not one time, not two times, not three times, but 4 or 5 times. I was in the music industry. I know when I see a star, when I don't see one. I know when one needs to be polished up. I worked with some of the best A&Rs you could think of. Blaze Flow, that done everybody from fucking Cardi B's first EP to Troy A's first project. Y'all heard another video where I had where he had worked with Shakira, Justin Timberlake, Justin Bieber, and many of other people. So all those producers I done recorded with those same producers, and they in my videos telling you at my studio sessions. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of that. But anyway, long story short, I am. Long story short, I wanna switch this around so y'all really understand what I'm saying. Because I don't want to get y'all confused of what I'm saying here in total. The music business itself is crumbling. It's worth pennies on the dollar now. You understand what I'm saying? If you guys are online and you're bashing your own multimillionaires, you remove a structure, an infrastructure. You may not realize it, but it's a trickle down effect. Once you get rid of those millionaires and billionaires, you know how many people Bill Cosby employed at one time? All those people are left without jobs. Now, if he did it, if you know what I mean, they did it, she did it, he did it. Because we don't talk about these teachers out here that have been getting pregnant by these. Adam Sandler did a movie about getting pregnant by his teacher. And it was a whole thing. She went to jail, came home, had the baby, he raised the baby, everything else. This stuff happens. They don't never talk about these female teachers in these schools. That's a good one for y'all to roll on for you bloggers that watch me. Roll on that. These teachers in the schools, they get pregnant and every fucking thing else by these young 15, 16-year-old boys. That's one to do a story on right there. I might do that shit, my goddamn it. You know? Shit. Fuck, man. That needs to be exposed. But they're throwing you out these little stories because what they want you to do here on YouTube is they're hoping that it generates some type of revenue via fucking advertising. The problem is you guys that do this gossiping, there's so many of them that the revenue is starting to shrink up too. So you'll say, what's it called, CPO, CPM, or whatever, that's the metrics of what they base on your ad revenue, or whatever the case may be. This is why I said I would have to switch up what I'm doing. I can't even deliver this type of shit because, and I'm not complaining or whatever, whatever. I'm not trying to trick you or encourage you to donate right now, whatever, whatever. You do, you do. If you don't, you don't. But because I'm tired of that battle. That you're never going to win that battle. I had a conversation about it. You're never going to win that battle. Most of the people that probably do listen to me don't like me or whatever the case may be, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep your money in your pocket if that's how you feel. But it's that same ideology that I speak of with a depletion in the monetary sources that we have available within the culture. It's depleting on so many different fronts. It's depleting on the YouTube thing. That's why I was telling you about that Latin content creator. I was talking about Black and Latin content creators not getting opportunities as white content creators, as far as endorsements, as far as product placement, things like that. They're not. There's companies out here that will send certain people, depending on how many followers you got, which is a dumb metric because even YouTube themselves explain, if you have, okay, say you have 100,000 views, right? What is the percentage of people that stayed in there longer than 1 minute? I might have accidentally just clicked your shit. Boom, that counts as a view. If it stays longer than 5 seconds, it's counted as a view on YouTube. So that's why, views haven't really been used much more than anything in a long time here on YouTube. What they usually use more so as a measure now is likes. Likes help you. Amount of shares that you have are more prominent than views. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, somebody can click on your shit. The majority of people, you can see this metric in YouTube Studio. So it affects the CPM in which you receive depending on how you gossip. Meaning, like, and this is what I've learned too. If you're gossiping and you're gossiping heavy and you got cursing and accusations and shit like that, you're going to see a lower rate CPM or CPO, however they describe the acronym, because of your simple fact you're cursing and everything else. So, people can't really do advertising with you as a strong forward. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna advertise fucking Pampers for kids, on top of that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna advertise daycares. Those are the real ad revenue companies right there. The Gerbers and the Biscos and all those companies, subsidiaries of those companies. Those are the real playmakers if you want to get some advertising revenue. And so you have to do things that are compliant with getting that advertising revenue at a peak. And that doesn't include, unfortunately, having conversations like we're having right now. And that is only an effect of the lack of, for myself personally, the lack of material that I do that seems to be top notch as everybody motherfucking replies, but at the same time, not good enough for the demographic that I hold. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not complaining. I just, I'm thinking like, once you say it a couple times and they just still refuse to support you or whatever monetarily, then you just, you let it go. And after that, you're just doing things off the muscle. So I'm just doing this one off the muscle just to do it. Like I said, I've been here for about an hour, so I'm gonna go ahead and go. But resources, an impending loss of resources because of resources being spent, resources that were really meant to be spent towards the COVID are being spent by Joe Biden to take care of migrants coming here from every country you could think of. So much of a point that you have other, I would say two-time, maybe three-generational Latinos complaining about the same thing in the Latinx community. And many of y'all complaining about the Africans that you guys have coming here in the same communities too, moving into many of y'all communities. I see Chicago is ready to almost go to war over the migrant crisis out there. They have a big thing going on in Boston as well. I'm not saying some of the people shouldn't be here. I think a lot of them should be here, but we got to keep in mind amongst that little crowd, there's some terrible people. And they're not being screened by INS because there's so many properly. They're being, there's a process when you come through INS. I know this from uncles and everything else. And so if you're new to the country and you've never been here, you're just a first time visa guy or whatever, what they're gonna do for you is they're gonna do an INS screening. And that could take anywhere from an hour, it could take 3 hours, depending on how deep it is, how long it take out to figure you out. And so they do the screening and they sit you down or whatever, ask you a litany of different questions. Have you ever been arrested in your country? Have you ever been convicted of any crimes in your country? What was your occupation? Blah, 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 blah. They're going to ask you all these questions. And the process, like I said, depending on what amount of questioning they have, what they want to question you about, if they want to go into depth about questioning you further, that's how long you're going to be sitting there. And so imagine trying to do that for 90,000 people spedly. 90,000 and more arriving. This motherfucker down there in Texas is sending us another busload. So you're not being able to log in a proper process the INS, that's Immigration Naturalization Services. That's what they do. And so that's why, like, I can speak for New York. We got a whole bunch of motherfuckers I would call criminals in New York walking around right now that I've seen. Like, I know criminal behavior when I see it. I had a nigga one night that was standing behind me. I was like, yo, my nigga, what's on your mind? I said straight up like that to him. I said, yo, what's on your mind, my nigga? You understand? Because I'm about to crack you right now. You know what I'm saying? He just walked off. Some people, they just get, they know that tone. Like, my nigga, no, this ain't a good space for you to be right behind me, my G. And so, like, a lot of these, I tell y'all this too, as being half Latin, that a lot of these they're not like Dominicans, they're not like Panamanians and shit like that. That's not the people that you're getting here. You're getting people from Ecuador, Mexico, Peru, few from Colombia, but primarily those 4 countries that I just mentioned. And these countries, they have predominantly their population. They're black Mexicans, believe it or not. The Mexicans took in slaves after slavery was over. Did you know that? When they were what you call the Night Riders or the KKK. That's why I say a lot of Black Americans need to do their real history. Y'all doing these skim histories that make you look proud, but sometimes you got to pay homage when homage is due. The Mexicans, there's a part of Mexico, I forgot what the name of it is, but it might be so it's not Juarez, it's somewhere else. But I think it starts with a W. And there's literally black Mexicans that will tell you from there, oh, we're black. And they are shunned in the country. Some places they're celebrated. But a lot of these Latin countries I'm just mentioning to you, and I know this from being half Latino, they have never seen a black population in their life. And so everything that they've had an interpretation of a black population has been via the TV and via the news and via their family giving, bad messages about people they've never been around before. And so it's sad, but they come with this country, some of them, with that attitude. And they think that they can treat you the same way as they would treat somebody in their country that was your same color. Does that make sense? Even in the Dominican Republic, I'll give you an example. They were over there. It was terrible what they've done in the Dominican Republic several times. From the separation of Hispaniola, which is now modern day Haiti, and the Dominican Republic separated from colonists of 2 different fractions, the French and the Spaniards. You know what I mean? But when they came in, Dominguez, when he came in, that's who found the place. When they came in, these batch of conquistadors that were adorned by the church, sent by the church, Her Majesty, who was 14 years old when she took the fucking throne. 14. She had counsel. Anyway, this little bitch, because that's what she was. This little bitch gave authorization with her signature to send these explorers over, and they found Hispaniola, whatever. It was a little fight over briefly, whatever. But there was 2 times. You have a guy, and I told you guys to look him up. Jesus Christ is right on top of my head right now, too. Starts with a T. But he was the president of the Dominican Republic. And what he tried to do was he tried to do the same thing Hitler did and wipe the population, meaning whiten it up. Like he killed, I don't know if it was as many as Hitler, but he killed a good proportion of black Dominicans, like a lot of them. Even to modern day, you will have dark-skinned Dominicans that will quickly separate themselves. I know this. Anybody in Latin culture know this. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way the Latin communities, they separate themselves. Like, this is the Jamaicans, this is the Haitians. Oh, we gonna fuck with the Dominicans will fuck with the Jamaicans, but the Jamaicans won't fuck with Puerto Ricans. Like, it should be funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm dead serious. The Jamaicans and Dominicans, they like this. Especially you get a big Jamaican, a big Dominican. Oh my God. Them Jamaican niggas love them a big Dominican chick. You're like, get over here. Not slim, not big, but no, this big. And if she could cook, that's a plus. You don't believe me? Go up Allerton Ave. Go up Allerton Ave in the X. Go up Allerton Ave in the X. You'll see some Jamaican nigga, you know what I'm saying? He'll be about 40 something, whatever. You know what I mean? Be with some big ass Dominican girl. You know what I'm saying? Never know. She might have good vajayjay, could cook a hell of a motherfucking meal. I don't know. Shit. Some reason he's there. But they'll separate the communities in the Caribbean community too, based on the colonizers. And that's what we're really talking about here. We're talking about the colonizers. They're recolonizing motherfucking blacks and motherfucking, you don't want to pay. We just got to find a new way to make them obey. And this way we'll make them obey is via the internet. We'll reward them with trinkets, rags, and tatters for each time to decimate one of their own on a daily basis. And that's the key. Y'all stop doing that shit. Y'all helping these motherfuckers. I'm trying to tell y'all helping these motherfuckers. This shit transcends further than you. It's bigger than you. When white people hear this and they get on it, this is what TMZ does. Harvey, I'm sorry. This is what TMZ does. There was a point where TMZ ain't talking about no fucking rap or nothing like that. And all of a sudden they started talking about rap. So it's a TMZ effect. The news agencies want to be just like TMZ because TMZ in sight reports a lot of the news simultaneously as the regular news does. So they're in competition with TMZ, you feel me? They're in competition with them. So based on the fact that they're in competition with them, what they do is they emulate the same structure. Put something out there, get something out there to talk about. This gets views. This translates into advertising revenue. Out of the tens of thousands of people who are going to do subjects on this, it's going to be different people that do it in a way that's more presentable than others. Admit the cursing, admit this, admit that, admit this. This is how they duke in black and Latin people on there because they know the litany of black and Latin people that are on and at YouTube and they're gonna curse. They're gonna say something funny. They're gonna, you know what I mean? This is what it is. And unfortunately, what happens is that advertising revenue when people that come in, that's a depleting business. When you have the music business, you can stream something for pennies on a dollar. You're getting rid of motherfuckers. I think that was implemented on purpose. That old streaming shit. Because I say all the time, they took Napster, and I said this before, the boys that created Napster, they took them to all these congressional meetings, fined them all these millions of dollars or whatever, and just a few years later, you know what happened? It was a guy by the name of Steve Jobs that turned around and grabbed the same platform, basically, and ripped it apart and recreated it. And I think that's what they did with Napster over there at Apple. Because the iTunes store ain't nothing fucking but motherfucking Napster with a price tag on it and all the illegal files removed. You know what I'm saying? YouTube does the same thing as Napster nowadays. You know what I mean? This is a true story. Shout out to Arizona. They could be like, that nigga got a beer. See what he doing? But they did the same exact thing. And the iTunes stores ain't nothing but Napster, in my opinion. You know, other people may differ. They're depleting the money in these businesses. In my opinion, they don't want to see hip-hop no more. Hip-hop is gradually getting turned into a pop, electric, European type of form that's more melodic than it is about bars. And I'm not trying to be no nostalgia shit. And I think they're trying to die it down. And the only reason I can think they're trying to die it down is because of the pure simple fact of the violence that's entailed with it. If you notice, What's the last time you had to break a story about some white dude in the music industry that did some atrocious things? You gotta tell me that. When's the last time you saw somebody that was white in the music business? When's the last time you saw one of these guys get exposed? Can y'all tell me? You'll find you haven't. I think the last one was Harvey. It's so bad that y'all got to go back and just talk about Harvey and this one. That's it. And I think they tore apart their businesses for the same fucking reason. They wanted to get rid of Harvey because Harvey was a scapegoat for a bigger source of people, same way Epstein was. That's why you got an Epstein's list. So there's no way you can have this argument with me and try to tell me that there's no white people that are more guilty of things that y'all reportedly say, well, people will say, well, I think it's Clive Davis. Clive Davis taught him. Man, stop talking about Clive. Man. You ain't never met Clive, been around Clive. You guessing, nigga. You understand what I'm saying? I've been around this, man. Like, stop guessing, nigga. That's the shit to get on my nerves. The niggas that be on here guessing. Really, stop it, man. You ain't never been in the music business a day in your life. And you sit up here talking about the music business? That don't make sense. Give your theories, give your ideas or whatever. But if you wasn't there, stop talking about that shit. You look stupid. Anyway, long story short here, you don't see anybody white come up in these stories or get motherfucking exposed or anything like that. I'm telling you, it's a conjuring plan to try to take down and dumb down this specific genre, this right there in the middle with hip hop first. And then they'll follow through with other ones. But what I think they're trying to do is they're trying to correlate the music business into another structure. And that structure is going to be inclusive of not these compilations of music that you heard once before, like the likes of Michael Jackson or Prince or something like that. It's going to be in these sped up little quick cookie cutter batches. And they're going to be worth cents on the dollar. And they're going to hope on touring, but touring is going to get boring. So they're going to start doing virtual touring. Big thing that was popular during the pandemic. Erykah Badu did one. A couple other people did one. They're going to give you virtual experiences, probably through 360, make you feel like you're there, whatever. That keeps down on insurance. That keeps down on people coming to Coliseum. That keeps down on cleanup. That keeps down on a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? And whether you like it or not, you are headed to a virtual world. And you're headed to a quantum computing world. I'll say you'll probably see it in the next 2 years, if not the next 3 years. You may not remember this conversation I had with you today, but hopefully people in the future and kids, if you didn't hear this then, you'll hear this in the future. I told y'all about it. That's all the time I got, guys. I got to get out of here. I'm cold out here. And I just hold that one right there. Like I said, this wasn't even about, this was just off the muscle. This wasn't even about no cash apps or nothing like that. So don't even worry about it. This one on me. Talk to y'all later.